Have you ever wondered how your brain stores memories or why you feel emotions? Well, you're not alone. These questions have intrigued scientists and philosophers for centuries, and the answers lie within our very own brain, a marvel of nature, a spectacle of evolution, and the seat of human consciousness. The human brain, with its 3-pound mass of cells and fibers, is one of the most complex structures in the known universe. It's a symphony of billions of neurons, all working in harmony to make us who we are. It's the command center, the maestro that conducts the orchestra of our thoughts, emotions, memories, and even our very consciousness. Let's talk about memories for a moment. Ever wondered how you can recall your first day at school or the taste of your favorite childhood candy? All these memories are stored in the labyrinth of your brain. They're etched into the fabric of your neurons, intricately woven into the tapestry of your mind. It's like a vast library, a repository of your personal history where every book is a memory and every page is a moment in time. And then there are emotions: joy, sorrow, love, anger, fear. These are all products of our brain. Our brain processes the world around us and within us, and in response it creates these emotions. It's like a painter, using the palette of neurotransmitters to paint the canvas of our emotional landscape. But the brain is not just about memories and emotions. It's also the source of our thoughts, our ideas, our creativity. It's the philosopher pondering the meaning of life, the scientist unraveling the mysteries of the universe, the artist capturing the beauty of the world. It's the dreamer envisioning a better future, the doer making it happen. And then there's consciousness, the most mysterious aspect of the brain. It's what makes us aware of ourselves and the world around us. It's the light that illuminates our inner world, the mirror that reflects our outer world. In the next few minutes, we will delve into the fascinating world of the human brain. Each scene will unlock another layer of this enigma, taking us on a journey through the intricate labyrinth of our mind. So, stay tuned and prepare to be amazed. The human brain, a complex organ, consists of billions of building blocks called neurons. These neurons, or nerve cells, are the fundamental units of the brain and the nervous system, playing a crucial role in translating the world around us into the language that our bodies understand. Every neuron is a tiny, independent unit, but it's also a part of a vast network. Each neuron looks a bit like a tree, with a cell body as the trunk, dendrites as the branches, and axons as the roots. The dendrites receive messages from other neurons, and the axons send messages out. This complex structure allows each neuron to connect with thousands of other neurons, forming a vast, intricate network of communication. So how do neurons communicate? Well, they do it through a process called neurotransmission. When a neuron receives a signal, it generates an electrical pulse. This pulse travels down the neuron's axon to the axon terminals, where it triggers the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters cross a tiny gap called a synapse to reach the dendrites of the next neuron, passing the message along. And this is happening all the time, all over your brain, at incredible speed. Each of these billions of neurons can send out multiple signals per second, allowing your brain to process a staggering amount of information in the blink of an eye. But neurons don't just transmit information, they also process it. When a neuron receives signals from other neurons, it adds them up. If the total signal exceeds a certain threshold, the neuron fires, sending a signal of its own. This process allows neurons to make simple decisions, and when you put billions of them together, you get the complex decision-making ability of the human brain. It's fascinating, isn't it? These tiny cells, each one no bigger than a pinhead, working together to create our thoughts, our memories, our emotions. They make us who we are. Without neurons, there would be no brain function, no memory, no emotion. And that's why understanding neurons is so important to understanding the human brain. But neurons do not work alone. They communicate through synapses. Synapses are the unsung heroes of the brain. They are the microscopic junctions between neurons, the vital communication channels that facilitate the transfer of information within the brain. Each neuron can have thousands of synapses, forming an intricate network that makes up the complex architecture of our brains. When a neuron fires, it sends an electrical signal down its axon, the long tail-like structure that extends from the cell body. The signal reaches the end of the axon, where it triggers the release of chemicals known as neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters cross the tiny gap between neurons, known as the synaptic cleft, to reach the next neuron. This is how neurons send messages to each other, and it all happens in a fraction of a second. But synapses are more than just passive conduits for signals. They are dynamic structures that can change and adapt based on our experiences. This is the basis of learning and memory. When we learn something new, our synapses change. They can become stronger, facilitating the flow of signals, or they might form new connections entirely. This is known as synaptic plasticity. Synaptic plasticity is a remarkable feature of our brains. It allows us to adapt to new situations, learn from our experiences, and even recover from brain injuries. It's the reason we can recall a fond childhood memory, master a musical instrument, or navigate a new city. Our brains are not hardwired, fixed structures. They are constantly changing and reshaping, guided by the flow of information through countless synapses. It's a process that's happening right now as you listen to this explanation. Your brain is forming new connections, strengthening existing ones, and perhaps even letting some old ones fade away. Synapses, then, are not just the messengers of the brain. They are the architects, shaping and reshaping our brains in response to our experiences, our learning, and our memories. Indeed, synapses make our brains incredibly dynamic and adaptable. The frontal lobe, the brain's command center, controls our most complex actions and thoughts. Imagine being the conductor of an orchestra, with every instrument representing a different function of your body. You'd have to coordinate them all, ensuring they work together harmoniously. This is essentially the role of the frontal lobe, the largest section of the human brain, located at the front of each cerebral hemisphere. This lobe is like the CEO of your brain, overseeing a wide range of functions. It's responsible for decision-making, planning, problem-solving, and controlling purposeful behaviors. It's like the mastermind behind your every move, every thought, every decision. Think about the last time you planned a trip. Remember how you had to decide where to go, how to get there, what to pack, and so forth. That was your frontal lobe at work, coordinating all the information and making decisions based on your goals and the context. In addition to decision-making and planning, the frontal lobe also plays a key role in shaping our personalities. It's the reason why each of us is unique, why we have our individual quirks and characteristics. It influences our emotions, our reactions, our social behavior, and even our moral judgment. It's the reason why you might choose to help a stranger, laugh at a joke, or feel moved by a piece of music. The frontal lobe is also essential for our ability to communicate, controlling the motor functions involved in speech. It's like the brain's language center, helping us to express our thoughts and feelings. Moreover, the frontal lobe is involved in movement control, specifically voluntary movement. It's the reason why you can pick up a pen, wave hello, or dance to your favorite song. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the frontal lobe is its role in our ability to think about the future. It's the part of the brain that allows us to plan, to dream, to envision what's yet to come. The frontal lobe truly sets us apart as humans, enabling us to think and plan for the future. Ever wondered why we feel fear or joy? The amygdala plays a key role in this. The amygdala, a tiny almond-shaped structure deep within our brain, is the primary hub for processing our emotions. It's like the brain's emotional control center, responsible for triggering a whole range of feelings, from happiness to fear, from love to anger. Imagine the amygdala as a vigilant sentry, always on the lookout, constantly scanning for anything that might threaten our survival. When it detects danger, it's like a fire alarm going off, instantly sending signals to other parts of the brain and body, preparing us for action. This is why we experience that rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, or the sudden urge to run when we're scared. That's your amygdala at work. But the amygdala isn't just about fear. It's also involved in positive emotions. When you feel joy, excitement, or love, your amygdala is also busy processing these feelings, helping you experience and understand them. Now, you might be wondering how the amygdala does all of this. Well, it's all about connections. The amygdala has extensive connections with other brain regions. For example, it communicates with the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that helps us think and make decisions. This connection allows our thoughts to influence our emotions and vice versa. It also connects with the hippocampus, which is involved in memory formation. This connection helps explain why certain smells, sounds, or sights can trigger powerful emotional memories. Ever smelled a familiar scent and suddenly found yourself awash with nostalgia? That's your amygdala and hippocampus working together. The amygdala also communicates with the hypothalamus, which controls our body's stress response. When the amygdala senses danger, it signals the hypothalamus, which then triggers our fight or flight response. So, while the amygdala may be small, it's a major player in our emotional lives, shaping our experiences and reactions, whether we're feeling elated, terrified, or anything in between. The amygdala, though small, has a profound impact on our emotional lives. Our ability to remember past experiences is due to a small region of the brain called the hippocampus. The hippocampus, named after its resemblance to a seahorse, is nestled deep within the brain's medial temporal lobe. It's not a large part of the brain, but its impact on our lives is immense. This tiny structure is the maestro of memory, conducting the symphony of signals that become our recollections. The hippocampus is like a scribe, constantly writing down our experiences and filing them away for future reference. When you learn something new or have a unique experience, it's the hippocampus that helps you store this information. Imagine you're exploring a new city. The sights, the sounds, the scents, all these sensory inputs funnel into the hippocampus, which then works to weave them into a coherent memory. Later, when you recall that day, it's like pulling a book from a shelf, with the hippocampus serving as the librarian. But the hippocampus doesn't work alone. It's part of a network of structures that play a part in memory formation and retrieval. The amygdala, for example, adds emotional color to our memories, while the frontal lobe helps us retrieve and use them. But it's the hippocampus that's the linchpin, the central hub of this memory-making machine. There's a kind of magic in the way the hippocampus works, turning the ephemeral into the enduring. It takes the fleeting moments of our lives and transforms them into something we can hold on to, something that shapes our identity. And yet, despite its importance, the hippocampus is vulnerable. Diseases like Alzheimer's can ravage this part of the brain, leading to memory loss and confusion. That's why understanding the hippocampus and how it works is not just a matter of curiosity. It's a matter of humanity, a key to preserving our past and our sense of self. Without the hippocampus, we would be unable to remember new experiences. This small, seahorse-shaped structure is truly the keeper of our past, the architect of our identity, and the author of our life story. A small gland in our brain, the pineal gland, plays a crucial role in our sleep cycle. Tucked away deep in the brain, the pineal gland is a small endocrine organ that's often overlooked when we talk about the brain. But despite its small size, it holds great significance in our daily lives. The pineal gland is about the size of a grain of rice, nestled between the two hemispheres of the brain. Its primary function? To produce a hormone known as melatonin. This hormone is pivotal in regulating our sleep-wake cycle, often referred to as our circadian rhythm. As daylight fades and darkness falls, the pineal gland gets to work, producing and releasing melatonin into our bloodstream. This increase in melatonin makes us feel less alert, more relaxed, and primes our body for sleep. Essentially, it's the body's natural way of telling us it's time to wind down and get some rest. On the flip side, as the sun rises and light hits our eyes, the production of melatonin decreases, making us feel more alert and ready to face the day. It's a beautiful dance between light, our brain, and our body, choreographed to perfection by the pineal gland. But the pineal gland's impact on our sleep-wake cycle doesn't stop there. It also helps regulate other biological functions associated with our circadian rhythm. This includes our body temperature, hormone levels, and even our immune system. All these functions follow a rhythm, a cycle, guided by the pineal gland and the melatonin it produces. Now imagine if this tiny gland didn't function correctly. We might struggle to fall asleep or feel drowsy during the day. Our entire sleep-wake cycle could be thrown off balance, impacting our daily functioning and overall well-being. The pineal gland, often overlooked, is vital for our daily functioning and well-being. So, the next time you drift off into a peaceful sleep, remember the humble pineal gland and the crucial role it plays in your restful slumber. The human brain, with its intricate network of neurons and synapses, is a marvel of nature. We've journeyed through the wonders of this incredible organ, exploring its building blocks, the power of synapses, the role of the frontal lobe, the emotions stirred by the amygdala, the memories stored in the hippocampus, and the mystique of the pineal gland. Each of these components, working in harmony, contribute to the remarkable abilities we possess. Our capacity to learn, to feel, to remember, to create, and to dream all stem from this sophisticated structure. The brain's potential is infinite, limited only by the boundaries we impose upon ourselves. Even with our current understanding, the brain is still shrouded in mystery. There's so much more to discover, to understand, and to unlock. The brain, mysterious and complex, continues to intrigue scientists and laymen alike. It is, after all, the organ that makes us who we are.